Hello heroes and villains, welcome to Multiverse. So there has been some changes made to that little vendor over here in your lair. Let's take a look. So the first thing is that they've added various tabs. So if you go to R2, so you'll see here the themes of the lair. Then you'll see the orbital strikes, the sidekick, the supply drops, the backups, and then the tactical mods. And then we're back to seeing everything. And also there's another thing that has been changed. And now, whenever you equip an orbital strike on your character, it will add it to this vendor. So if you're like me, odds are you had a whole bunch of orbital strikes filling up your inventory. Now you are going to be able to delete some of them. Before you start deleting anything, I would strongly suggest make sure that the orbital strike is in the list. If you don't see it in the list, you are going to have to equip it. So you will have to equip the orbital strike on your character, and then it should add it to the list. If somehow you equip the orbital strike and it does not add it to the list, do not delete it. I'm sure that at some point they'll add it, but until they do, don't delete your orbital strike or you're going to lose it. And the same is true for the supply drops. So here you can see like I have the Pride Rainbow, the St. Patrick's Day, and the Unicorn supply drops. And the same also for the henchmen. So here you'll see for the henchmen, I have all the henchmen from the various layers. And then we start getting henchmen like the Man-Bat Commandos, the Joker Goons, the Holographic Henchmen. I don't know if I have all the henchmen, but I have a lot of them. If I don't have them all, I'm pretty darn close. Sadly, you're going to have to do that for each character. You're going to have to equip your orbital strikes and your henchmen and your supply drops. Although in the case of my Superman character, somehow it added the blackout uplink device to my character. And it also added the Man-Bat Commandos and the Dark Robins for some reason. Also, you'll notice another detail. The henchmen are now account bound. And so is the orbital strike for that matter. So seeing how they've made them account bound, so you could decide to take the Dark Robins. And you could give them to another one of your character using your shared bank if you wanted to. And the Dark Robin at the broker were like $500 million, so it was a bit expensive to try to buy the Dark Robins for each of my characters. Although I did buy them at least twice, 3 times I think. So having them being account bound now is very convenient, I have to say. So this is a pretty big quality of life issue. As time goes by, we get more and more henchmen all the time. And it was taking a lot of room in your inventory. So now you are going to be able to free a whole bunch of your inventory. So it's something that's been asked for quite some time. And now here we are. But make sure that you replace the cells in your generator in order to be able to use the henchmen and the orbital strike. And also make sure that you do purchase them from the mainframe using source marks. A question that I often have is Multiverse, I cannot use the henchmen or I cannot use the orbital strike. You have to purchase them from your mainframe. On the hero side, the henchmen are called backup for some reason. So if you see them called backup, it's because you're a hero character. If you're an evil villain, they should be called henchmen. For the orbital strike, it's the same whether you're heroes or villains. And the same for the supply drops. So you have to purchase supply drop 1 for 25 source marks, supply drop 2 for 25 source marks again, and then the boost for 7 source marks. When you purchase the items here, these are purchased forever. But for the boost is something you have to spend to purchase every 60 days. So every 60 days you will have to purchase the boost again, which as you can see it costs 7 source marks. So here, so you can see we have the blackout uplink device. And again, I have the henchmen from the lairs, and I should have, oh, you can see I don't have my lantern henchmen here. Even though that I already have them on this character. So you can see here the Green Lantern trinket. We're gonna have to unequip it, equip it again. And there you go, they've been added to the list. So make sure that you equip the henchmen so that they get added to the vendor before you delete them. So the same here, you can see I have the Dawnbreaker constructs. So again, let us equip the Dawnbreaker constructs. So make sure that they are added to the vendor before you delete them. Although you don't have to delete them. Like in this case, I only have the two henchmen. So I don't really need to delete them for this character. Since obviously these are the ones that I'm using all the time, there's no reason for me to delete them.
My will won't be broken.
But if you have a character like my multiverse, you will want to delete the orbital strikes and the henchmen that you don't really use in order to be able to save up some room in your inventory. It was nice that they were giving us new henchmen with pretty much every episode or every seasonals, but it started to add up pretty quickly. So now you can collect all the orbital strikes that you get if you want to, and you can delete those you don't normally use to save up some room in your bank and inventory. And even for the tactical mods, like you used to have to scroll all the way through everything, like pretty much like this. Like you used to have to scroll through everything to be able to get to the tactical mods. But now it's very convenient. Instead of having to scroll through everything, you just scroll all the way to the mods, and then you can pick the mods you need. So it's a pretty big quality of life improvement that will free up some room in your shared bank and your inventory. And seeing how they made them also account bound, it's a pretty big quality of life if you have a lot of characters like I do.